Hey, it is Wednesday, time for our weekly drop. And today we're going to talk about how to set goals as a DON slash nurse leader and why it's important. All right, I'm going to tell you why it's important. For one, if you don't have goals set as a DON, as a nurse leader, how do you know what direction you're going to go in? All right, and then how do you know what that evaluation is going to look like? All right, and this is one of the big things I see when nurses are leaving these positions as DONs. All right, so we want to make sure that we are setting goals as a nurse leader. Okay, and what you need to do when you need to have a meeting with your administrator. All right, so for the nurse leader, the first thing you want to do is meet with your administrator. All right, and why you need to meet with your administrator is because your administrator is going to do your yearly evaluation. All right, so how do you know what direction you need to go in and what expectations are you supposed to meet if you haven't met with the administrator to go over clear, defined goals? All right, you need to have clear, defined goals and what direction you're going to be for the nurse leader for that facility and what outcomes you're going to try to achieve. All right, the other thing you need to know with your goal, all right, it's not just about the goals, it's the outcome. All right, but even more importantly, right, it is the journey. All right, it's all about the journey. All right, we lose focus. Oh my goodness. We lose focus on the journey part. All right, and then we don't start to enjoy the process. All right, but in order for you to have the outcome that you want, you need to enjoy the process. You need to work through the process and keep going back. All right, you're going to go up and you're going to go back in your journey when you're trying to get goals, right? And why is that? Okay, things happen, some things that we have control over, some things we don't have control over. So sometimes you will have to take some step back, which is why I like to call it the journey, all right? The journey of getting to the outcome that you want to achieve of that goal. But I want you to take advantage of this because say you start a position as a DON, right? And you're looking for that raise, right? And guess what? You don't get the raise, and they say, well, you didn't get the raise because you didn't meet XYZ. Okay? Well, how are you supposed to know XYZ? All right, how are you supposed to know what this is? All right, if you haven't even had the conversation with your administrator to find out what it is that you need to work on as a DON. Okay? And trust me, these evaluations are important. All right, especially if you are even a DON and you might not be that six-figure DONs because that's what I'm focused on, six-figure DONs. And if you don't have that six-figure, you need to find out what do you need to do in order to get to that six-figure level, or what type of bonuses can you obtain by having goals. Like, for example, I was at a facility. I went in. It was a special focus facility, and I was the risk manager. All right. When I went in the facility, it had a fall percentage of I think it was greater than 40%. All right. I worked so hard with the falls, got it down to 14%. All right. So I knew what direction I wanted to be in. All right. I knew that we needed to decrease falls. All right. So that was my goal, was to decrease falls by what percentage. All right, and then how was I going to do this? All right, this is important. You need to know how are you going to then reach that goal. All right, and I can't stress this enough because I know a lot of times we leave positions and we don't even have an evaluation. That evaluation that you have at that facility serves as another reference. All right, you can utilize that to say, hey, on my last evaluation, this is what the administrator gave me. All right, I hold on to everything, every type of evaluation, every type of customer satisfaction survey that I would get. I hold on to everything because it serves as a reference point. All right, and as a nurse leader, you not only need to have goals for yourself, but guess who else needs to have goals? All right, your team. All right, your team. Everyone on your team needs to have goals, okay? They need to have goals set forth, but it needs to be, again, clear and defined goals. All right, and I just want to give an example, okay? Say you have a unit manager, it's time for her evaluation, and she doesn't do so great on her evaluation, right? And she'll be like, oh, well, I didn't even know that I was even supposed to be doing this, all right? Now, I know this is going to flip really quick, but I want you to, when you're doing your goals, I want you to take a look at job descriptions, okay, the roles, and then in your job description, it'll have a whole bunch of expectations, all right? The unit manager expectation is to do blah, 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 blah. The DL1 expectation is to do blah, 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 blah. All right, but that's so broad, all right? When you're trying to reach goals, you can't even really utilize this, right? Because it's not measurable. You have to make sure that whatever goal that you set forth for yourself and your team is measurable, all right? And that measurable will be then in your monthly Q&A meeting, all right? So when you're reaching out on those goals, for example, I said my goal was to reach 41%, decrease falls from 40-something% to 14% every month. You're talking about that in your Q&A meeting, all right? So I want you to start taking a look at the big picture, all right? But I think as nurse leaders, I think as unit managers, or just as nurses in general, we don't focus enough on setting goals for ourselves, all right, so that we can have, we can grow in our roles, we can produce better outcomes, we can become confident in ourselves. We're not taking full advantage of that, all right? So it's like we're walking around, with a chicken with our head cut off because, yeah, we're doing all of these, expectations, but what are the goals that we're going to meet? How are we going to meet them? All right, so I want you to take this opportunity to come up with 3 goals for yourself, all right? And it doesn't just have to be professional. It can be personal also, all right? Because remember, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, all right? I got that from Jim Rohn. But the more you work on yourself and develop a skill set, it's going to be easier for you to function in your role, all right? If you get into a position and you're not growing, meaning you're not reading any literature, you're not going to any conferences, you're not taking on any webinars, you're not going to any type of events, you're not being proactive in your neighborhood, your community, how are you expecting to grow? All right, so those are key things that you need to start thinking about when you're getting into these leadership positions. It's not just about the career goals, you need the personal goals too, because that's then going to enhance those career goals. All right, so again, DONs, nurse leaders, meet with your administrator. Say, hey, I need to come up with 3 goals set for myself in order to, because I want to be that 6-figure DON, or I want to get that bonus, or I want to have that deficiency-free survey, all right? Get with your administrator, all right? Because these expectations are just expectations, all right? You are expected to do everything in the expectations list, but you need clear goals, all right, to take your facility and yourself into the next direction. And unit managers, the same thing. Meet with your DONs. Hey, what goals is it should I be focusing on in order to get my unit to the next level that it needs to be? All right, what goals are you going to do? And this goes from CNA, from charge nurse to supervisors. Everybody gotta have a goal. All right, it don't have to be 3, it could be 1. But imagine they reach those goals, all right? Whether it be quarterly, 6 months, year, when they have those yearly evaluations and then you make those things measurable. Can you imagine the impact that they'll have on those employees to know that they have accomplished something, all right? And it's proving, okay, because you're bringing it here to your monthly Q&A meeting, you're evaluating it, you're making necessary changes in order to go back and correct it, all right? That's the process that you need to start thinking about when you get into the leadership positions, all right? Get into the leader position You get the position, but it doesn't stop there. All right. Learn how to grow and develop your team into amazing beings and facilities that I know you can. All right. So that's my weekly Wednesday drop. Like, comment, and as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel and please share. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.